Hi, this is Scott at RVing Live the Dream. We've been RVing now for since 2011, and when we bought the coach, the salesman explained to me what this was, and I thought my wife knew about it as well because she was there listening to it, but I guess she didn't understand it completely. So now that we've been RVing for a while, she asked me what a couple of the things were on here. So I figured, I bet a lot of other people don't know about it either. Maybe you bought your coach from a private seller, or you just didn't quite understand the salesman. So I'm going to go through and let you know what each of these, what each of the lights mean, and what the switches do. So on our control, we can read the different levels of the gray water, the fresh water, the black water, the gas, and the battery condition. We also have a light specifically for our pilot, for our hot water heater pilot, that tells us whether it's lit or not. And then the pump for our from our fresh water tank to pump and pressurize all of our water lines inside the coach when we're not at the shore power. So we can look at that by pushing the button, and when you push the button, now you have to hold it, because if you let it go, it'll turn itself back off. So you have to hold it to give you an idea of what you're looking at. So we have the black water tank, the gray water tank. I've had it for about a week now, so I need to drain these. And then the fresh water tank tells us how much fresh water I have on board. Again, I'm hooked up to shore, so I want to try and keep that full. So in case we run out of water, you never know if the campsite that you're at, maybe they'll shut the water off for some reason, and now you're on a boil water alert for a couple days. We'll run straight off the fresh water, because we always try and keep it stored. We also have the LP gas level in the tank and the battery condition. And one thing unique about the gas, at least for our RV, was that this would go down as you normally would expect it to, as you're using your LP gas. But I noticed on ours that when you hit the very bottom and you're getting really, really low, this will go all the way back up to the top and actually tell me like I'm full again, even though I know that I'm really low on propane. I think it's probably the pressure that causes that. So just something that you realize that, hey, if you were all the way down, you know you've used a lot of propane, and now it's reading all the way to the top, you probably want to check the gauge. The gauge on the actual tank is very accurate. So go out and check that gauge, and it'll tell you the level. You'll probably find that if it went all the way up low and went all the way to the top, and your gauge will probably tell you that you're real low. So
what does it mean when that pilot light goes on?
Well, you have a couple buttons here. I'll let that go. And now we have one to turn the pump on. It'll let you know that the 12-volt pump that runs to pump the water out of the fresh water tank to run your lines is on. Now, I don't normally have this on when I'm hooked up to shore power, so I have the water coming out of the from the campsite, so I don't need to run my pump. This light tells me whether my pilot's lit. Now, I don't have to manually light my pilot. I have an electric pilot, so if I turn this off, it turns off my gas for my hot water heater, and when I turn this on, you'll notice that this might turn on a little bit. And when it wants to light, this will turn on a little yellow light, and that light will light to let me know that it's trying to light the pilot. And if it stays on, it didn't light the pilot, and you can fix it by toggling it off and toggling it back on again. And it'll try and redo the pilot again.
And that's what prompted this video, because I was doing dishes here and the pilot light went on, and I didn't know why it went on, or if I had to do something to turn it off or what. So that's why we did the video.
So yeah, I have an electric start for my pilot, so my gas is only on when I'm heating up my hot water heater, and it turns off the gas otherwise, and I don't run a pilot all the time. So it has to strike run a high voltage arc across the gas, which will light it, and then if it doesn't light it, it turns on a light to let you know that it tried to light it, but it couldn't, and you need to it's just letting you know. It's like a caution, just let you know that your gas is not lit.
So do you want to explain the battery condition?
Battery condition, again, tells you your level, tells you how much voltage you have on the house batteries. Remember, your house batteries are separate from your car batteries. Now, this is a motorhome, so I have separate house batteries and a separate car battery to start the engine up on the motorhome. The reason being is that if you run your lights and you run all the stuff on the inside of your in a coach, you can run these real low, but that's okay because you'll be able to start it back up because it runs off a separate battery. If they tied the house battery and the engine battery together, as you're using your lights and you're using all the things in the coach, you'd also be draining down that additional battery, which means you're out of power and you're not going anywhere. So they separate them with two separate systems so that that wouldn't happen to you. But that's it, and I just want to explain that to you. If you have any other questions about this, please let us know. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe. See you on the road.